When I came back to my senses, I found myself lying in the dark under the window inside the house. My cousin was lying there too. My aunt and sister Mie, who had been in the same room, were blown further to the entrance area of the house, and aunt was about to raise herself. The desks, two chairs, a bookshelf, tatami mats, and everything else in the room were all blown away and gone. Fortunately, the house was new and escaped from collapsing, but many old houses in the neighborhood were crushed. The fire had not started at that time. We stepped outside. We saw an old woman crying for help, trapped under fallen stone wall. Her daughter-in-law was trying to help her out, but the wall was too heavy for her to lift. My aunt also helped her, but they fainted. Trying to take us children, my aunt went to the underground shelter to look for something to tie a child on her back. I waited for her to come back, but became terrified to see the house beginning to catch fire and flames loading out of the windows. Unable to wait for her any longer, I ran away by myself. My little sister shouted, "Wait for me!" But I couldn't hear anything from here. I walked on the roofs of collapsed houses to the riverbank and walked in the direction of the mountain. After I crossed the wooden bridge called Nakahirobashi and reached the bamboo bush on the riverbank. The very bridge I had just crossed caught fire at both ends. I stopped before the water. Then a kind woman carried me by her side and crossed the river. Seeing that she had some cucumbers, I thought of using them to heal the burns. I must have already known I had been burned. Walking toward the mountain, I came across two of my relatives, my father's brother-in-law and the father of my aunt. They were on their way to our house in Yokogawa, worried about our family. When I told them, "I'm Junko, daughter of Yoshimura Hideaki," my uncle carried me on his back to his home in Itsukaichi, where mother was heading for on the morning of that day. I remember stopping at an emergency clinic to sterilize and bandage my injured on the face and arms. I was so relieved. Maybe I fell asleep on his back and do not remember anything before I got to his house. At his house, I was able to meet mother. She was so happy to see me and said, "At least Junko is alive." Father's brother-in-law drew a large two-wheeled cart and headed back to Hiroshima to look for other members of our family. Sometime later, he brought back my aunt, cousin, and my little sister, and the two sisters at my house. My immediate elder sister Katsuko, who was heavily injured, and the little children were on the cart. Father learned we were at Itsukaichi and found us. He later heard that Hiroko was injured and brought to a school. So he went but couldn't fight his own child. All the classrooms were filled with injured people lying on the floor, and it was not easy to identify one out of the dying crowd. It took him several days to find my sister. Father thought he couldn't fight her that day again, but still cried out her name. Where is Hiroko? Where is Yoshimura Hiroko? Then he heard a faint voice. Daddy, I'm here. He turned in astonishment and found Hiroko, who looked so different with injuries. Father laid her on the board and put her on his bicycle to bring her back to Itsukaichi, covering her with the white cloth to above the scorching sun. Looking at them, some people joined their hands and murmurs in Buddhist prayer. Namamidamitsu believed she was already dead. Hiroko was offended to hear their prayer and said, I'm not dead yet. When she was brought to our relative's house, she was able to say in a loud voice, I am home. She was carried by mother and others to the bed, killed in a tatami room, but there was virtually no treatment we were able to give her because she was crouching down to adjust her jikatabi craft and was wearing a black school uniform. All her back was terribly burned. Many maggots bled on her back injuries. Picking them off from her back was about all we could do for her, but there were so many of them, and as we picked one off, others crawled deeper into the flesh, which caused her great pain. She often cried and said, Stop it now, eat now. It hurt so much. The smell of rotten flesh filled the room, and her clothes would become dirty quickly, and changes were never enough.